After taking a bit of a break from YouTube and in fact Bannerlord in general, there was only one way to come back. Mods have always been a massive part of the Mount & Blade franchise, and it is no different in Bannerlord. So in this series I'll be taking you over some of the best mods that we have so far, and of course what's next. Each video will be a different array of modifications from the game, big, small, chubby, skinny, and at the end I'll be showcasing a new and upcoming mod that is yet to be released. Additionally, I'll try not to add any mods that do just bug fixes or balancing, as they're most likely to be patched out by Tailwords, so therefore that will completely just date this list. But without further ado, and in no particular order, let's kick the series off with 10 Bannerlord mods you have to try. Banner Peasants. This is one of the most downloaded mods of the game, and Banner Peasants adds, as you guessed, banners for regular troops. You know, the game is called Bannerlord, but it never actually added any banners in it. Well, now it does. Take the field with armies and fly your sigil, letting the enemy know what is coming. It looks goddamn awesome. You may have seen me using this mod in some of my other videos on my modded series, and you can see just how much it affects the aesthetic of the game and the battles themselves. You can change the frequency of the banners in your party, and of course it will show any custom banners that you make throughout the game. It is a pretty cool mod, and as an additional side note, there's also a mod called Bear My Banner, which lets only your higher level troops hold up the standard if they have proven themselves worthy. Battle Speech is a small mod that does what it says on the tin. It lets you recreate those epic moments at the start of a bloodbath. The general addresses his men, tells them of stories that will be told after their noble deaths. The reason I wanted to include this mod, despite of its smaller size, is how well thought out it is, how it's dynamic depending on the situation of the battle. The speech will change depending on the culture that you're playing as. Furthermore, the speech will change depending on the terrain that you're playing the battles in. They'll speak of the difficulties that may arise on this rocky terrain or in the trees. Also, it can change depending on who you are fighting, and of course the number of troops you of your enemy have, and things like your health as well. You know, a very Total War style. Well, Rome Total War style.
And at the last, there is something appealing, something appalling, something for everyone in what I must now say. We will win! Many of us may die, but all of us will be brave!
Ever wanted Bannerlord to be just that bit more gory? Well, now it can be. With the Dismemberment mod, you can add in your dreams of seeing people's heads go flying. I made a full dedicated video on the early release of this mod, and boy is it fun. Going around chopping people up, getting that lucky slice on their neck area, and wham! Off goes their head. Make your foes feel like a real Count Dooku and never let them escape. The mod comes with a little bit of customization. You can change the frequency of how often the animation happens, but I mean, why wouldn't you put that on 100%? It just seems like the thing that you should do, because it looks awesome. Another factor that you may not want in all your games, but you can customize. It looks great for cinematic stuff, but you can change the slow motion effect or not. This means when you go and actually get that chance to do a decapitation, it can change into slow motion or not, depending on what you put the setting on. One thing I would say about this mod is that you can decapitate a lord, but then you take them prisoner and they're just knocked out. Those guys are pretty tough. Now, just over a week or so ago, I made a video on a Spartan mod. This added in a fantasy version of the Spartans into Bannerlord. You know, the 300 base romanticized Spartan ones that everyone complained their shields were too small. But after that video, I realized that there was actually another mod, something that went further into this, not only adding in Spartans themselves, but a full troop tree for them, and Greeks as a whole. And I'm going to make many videos on this in the future. The Spartans can now actually throw their spears, which is a nice change. Additionally, the Greeks have their own troop tree. On screen are the actual trees for each of the Spartans and the Greeks. It's sort of tempting to do a video on both in the future, so let me know if you want to see that. A small tip though with the mod, make sure you split your armies into multiple walls and multiple units. There you can cover your flags and get the most out of your shield walls. You can get Greek archers, peltasts, hoplites, and many more different troops. But as a quick disclaimer, not everything in this mod is entirely historically accurate, but it's fun to play around with nonetheless. Screamerlord isn't really a mod I think needs much introduction. It was the first mod video that I ever made on this channel for the game, and it lets you control the troops with nothing but a simple voice command. When I first tried it, there were a few commands that you could do, but now they're all being added in and slowly more and more are being introduced. It uses the Windows inbuilt voice recognition technology, so pretty much everyone can do it, and it lets you put that integrated into the game itself. The longer you train it to know your voice, the more success that you're going to have with the troops hearing your commands better and faster. But this is one mod that I think is better shown than told. So here you have it. Everyone follow me. Archers, hold this position. Cavalry, charge. Infantry, charge. You know what? Everyone charge! Get everyone doing their thing. Hell yeah, take down these archers. These guys are pretty powerful archers, actually. That's one thing the Britannians do really well, is get some good archers. Mixed gender troops is a pretty cool mod that adds in, of course, female troops in the game. I don't know, in case that's something you wanted to do. Each faction has the female version of each troop, but it can be figured to only apply to certain types of units if you want. So maybe you can have a full female archer squad or a shield maiden front line. Some really awesome things that can be done with this mod are always available throughout the game. As you can see by this menu screen, there are so many different things that can be customized throughout, and that was probably one of the main reasons that I wanted to add it to the list, the sheer scale of its modability. Tired of the same old nobles? Don't want to lead an army of well-trained and high morale troops anymore? Me too, and that's why I installed the Bannerlord's Bandit Lord mod. The mod that lets you go around recruiting, you guessed it, bandits. You can become the leader of looters, the brigade of bandits, the MD of deserters, or the ruler of raiders, and hey, is it fun. Even more, the mod is constantly being updated with new troops and ways to recruit, from hideouts to cities and way more. You can even get a bandit workshop called the Normal Butcher, where it turns horses into meat. I mean, it looks kind of brutal, but it's also pretty cool. So strap on your camel pelts, find your flea-ridden army, and take over Calradia as the Bandit Lord. Speaking of lords, the Firelord mod lets you create a Lindy Beige nightmare and bring fire arrows, enchanted swords, axes and polearms, and the ability to light your targets on fire and deliver burning damage. It doesn't get much better than this. Light up the skies in the most beautiful way with this mod. I love using it for these cinematic shots. Have a gorgeous montage. The developer console is perhaps one of the most important mods on this list. It lets you get into the nooks and crannies of Bannerlord's details. If you want to play the game legit, don't use this, ignore it. But for people like me who like to make videos and need certain setup periods, it shortens the time massively. Being able to order AI to do the things I want in order to create a scenario for a cool video, like get them to siege a specific castle. Maybe I want to spawn in a massive amount of the same unit to create those unit only videos. This is the mod that I use. Or just give your character or army some XP and skills it needs for the different situations. The possibilities are endless, and the more and more we discover about the game, the more commands you'll be able to use within this mod. If you're into video making or you just want to create whatever scenario to your exact specifications, this is the mod for you. And the final mod on my list is Borax's Cut Through Everyone mod. Have you ever been in a tight spot where you are surrounded by enemies and no way to escape? You just wish your seemingly massive greatsword could just slice through them all at once. Well, this is the mod for you. An awesome little quality of life / epicness feature, it lets you chop through more than one kid at a time. Of course, it does take into account the enemy's armor, your skill and the weapon you are using, but it is so satisfying being on horseback and being able to chop down 3 archers in one blow, or lance many enemies to form a long kebab. Paired up with the Dismemberment mod, you're going to have a lot of gory, fun times. Just keep in mind though that at some points it can become a little bit overpowered, which I'm sure is why Tailwolves did not add this into the base game. But it is time for the special round. I want to end all of these videos with a look into the future and some big mods that are in the works. So today we have the late medieval warfare mod, an upcoming mod that, you guessed it, takes Calradia into the late medieval period, specifically the 15th and 16th centuries. You'll be able to participate in famous wars such as the 13-Year War, the War of the Roses, the Burgundian and Italian Wars, and many, many more. It will be mostly based around Europe and the Middle East, with of course historically accurate troops including gunpowder weapons and field artillery, which of course I can't wait for, with up to 45 playable factions, new scenes and settlements to siege as well, and of course some new quests to help you gain relations and explore the land at your will. This is one I cannot wait to see. But that's about it. 10 mods for Bannerlord that you have to try out now, links in the description, and a look into what we can expect in the future. If you have any more mods that you think I should bring into the next video, make sure you leave a comment or head to my new subreddit and link your suggestions there. But until then, I will see you in the next one.